Hello. As promised for you, still the weekend, so here is my telling of Cinderella. Not my version of it, but I'll go through that after the video. It certainly isn't the Disney version, so there's no talking or singing mice or anything like that. There's no fairy godmother. Yeah, you'll find out. It's a more traditional telling of Cinderella, a little bit more gory than what you might be used to. But I hope you enjoy it. There was once a rich man whose wife was very ill. When she felt close to death, she called her only daughter to her bedside. She told her to be good and kind and always meek as a lamb. She would always be protected. But when her mother was gone, she would look over her, watch over her and keep her safe. And having said that, the woman closed her eyes and passed away. The girl would tend her mother's grave every day and weep over her loss. In the winter, snow covered the land. Come the spring, the snow was chased away. The rich man took another wife, a woman who had two daughters of her own, who were very beautiful but were hard and selfish of heart. They all moved into the wealthy man's house. It was then that things began to change for the poor girl. Her stepsisters were jealous of her meekness and her kindness, and they would make fun of her. Why should she sit at the table with us? She should earn her bread. They took away the pretty clothes that her mother had made for her and forced her to wear a shabby grey dress and heavy wooden shoes. She was forced to work from morning till night, fetching water, cleaning the clothes, scrubbing the floor. You might think she had a comfortable bed to look forward to at the end of the day. No. She was forced to sleep in a thin blanket by the hearth. The two stepsisters had a favourite way of bullying her. They would throw a bowl of lentils in the ashes by the fire and laugh as the poor girl scrabbled among the ashes, put them back in the bowl. They decided she needed a name. Ashy face? No. Sooty bottom? No. Cinderella. And there it was. The poor girl from that day forth was known as Cinderella. Now one day the rich man had to go to town for business, and he asked the three girls if they would like anything brought back. Dresses for me, the finest dresses there are, demanded the oldest. Oh, I want jewels, the most beautiful jewellery you can find. The man looked down to his own daughter. What would you like? Just bring me the first branch that brushes against your hat. So when the man returned, dresses for the oldest stepdaughter, jewellery for the other, and for Cinderella, branch of a hazel tree which brushed his hat as he was returning home. Cinderella took the branch, planted it in her mother's grave. It was watered by her tears, and it grew into a beautiful, full hazel tree, which all the birds would come to shelter and rest in. Now one morning there was great excitement in the household. An invitation had gone out for everyone to attend a 3-day festival at the castle. The stepsisters sisters were delighted, and instantly began ordering poor Cinderella around. Fix their hair like it was in this picture, not like that, you idiot. Scrub their shoes. Mend their dresses. Make ready their finest clothes. Poor Cinderella very much wanted to go to the festival as well and begged her stepmother. You? Oh, look at you, you filthy, dirty, you've got nothing to wear. No, you can't be seen with us. Cinderella persisted, begged, till her stepmother took a bowl of lentils and threw them in the fireplace. You can sort those out. In the space of an hour, you may come to the ball. Cinderella went to the kitchen door, called out to the birds in the hazel tree. Amazingly, 2 doves flew in, began sorting the lentils, followed by pigeons, who also helped. Now Cinderella let them keep the poor lentils, the bad ones. Went to her stepmother, the sorted bowl, begged again to be allowed to go to the festival. You don't know how to dance. You would just embarrass us. Here, she took 2 bowls of lentils, threw them into the fireplace. You can sort those in less than an hour, then you can come. She was certain Cinderella would not manage this. Again, Cinderella called out to the birds. More came, more helped. Sorted the lentils for her. They were allowed to keep the spoiled ones. Poor Cinderella, thinking that surely now she would be allowed, went to her stepmother with the bowls. You're not coming with us. It's as simple as that. And off they went, leaving Cinderella alone. As soon as they had left, Cinderella scrubbed herself from head to foot, cleaning every trace of dirt and soot from her. She went out to the hazel tree. Oh, hazel tree, shake your leaves and set me free. Though I am poor, I must confess, I'd love to wear a pretty dress. The leaves whispered, what colour? Oh, the colour of starlight. The tree shook, and there, suddenly, hanging from the lowest branch next to Cinderella, was a dress the colour of purest starlight. Cinderella quickly rushed inside, took off her shabby old grey dress, put on the beautiful dress of starlight. It had come with 2 silk slippers, the same colour. Leaving her wooden shoes behind, she raced off to the festival. She couldn't believe how she was treated there. The ladies invited her to join their tables, take tea with them. The lords of the land begged her to dance. She was too shy. It was only when the prince himself bowed low before her she allowed him to take her hand. The entire room stopped to watch the 2 of them gracefully almost float across the dance floor. Cinderella's stepmother and her stepsisters didn't recognise her. They wondered who this strange princess was, surely from a foreign land. Nobody knew who she was. The prince decreed that this stranger would dance, but no one else but him. But during an interval in the music, Cinderella slipped away and raced home. The prince chased after her. Cinderella hid in the dovecote when she reached home. Dovecote being a short sort of, like an outhouse where doves and pigeons can roost. Cinderella's father came out and saw the prince. Can I help you? chased a girl here. I'm sure she hid in the dovecote there. Well, that can only be my Cinderella, but the man opened the dovecote, but it was empty. Cinderella had slipped out the back, hung her dress and slippers on the hazel tree, rushed back inside, put back on her dress, laying down in the ashes. When her stepmother and stepsisters returned, they woke her. They needed help getting undressed. Their corsets were tight up, but they were full of gossip of the mystery princess. Oh, you should have seen her, Cinderella. Nobody knows who she is. For a moment, watching Cinderella and the prince dance, their hearts had softened. And they'd admired her. The next night, once again, Cinderella was left behind. The other three went off to the festival. Cinderella went back out. Oh, hazel tree, shake your leaves again for me. Come to the aid of my distress. Send me again a pretty dress. What colour? Whispered the leaves. Moonlight, please. And again, a dress magically appeared. Cinderella rushed inside, dressed, and off to the festival she went. The prince would dance with no one else, and would let no one else dance with this mystery princess. He begged Cinderella to stay, but again she slipped away. The prince chased her again. When Cinderella reached her garden, she climbed a pear tree which hung heavy with fruit and hid amongst the branches. Again her father came out upon seeing the prince. The prince explained that he chased a mystery girl. Sure, she was hiding in the tree. It was the prince after all. The man got an axe and chopped the tree down. Cinderella climbed down the tree out of sight round the back, rushed off, hung her dress by the hazel tree, snipped it back inside. Third night came. Again Cinderella was left behind. As soon as everyone had left, she went out. Oh hazel tree, shake your leaves again for me. 'Tis the last night of the ball. Make this the best dress of them all. What colour? The colour of sunlight, please. The dress that appeared. She was almost too afraid to touch it. It shone in the night of the purest gold. Beautiful matching slippers. Now that night, when she reached the ball, the prince had set a trap. After their dancing, when she tried to slip away, he had ordered that the steps of the palace be smeared with pitch, tar, so that when Cinderella raced down them, she was stuck, to the point that she had to abandon one of her golden slippers and race home with only one of them. The prince would let no one else touch it. He cleaned it up. The next day, he decreed that whoever's foot fit this slipper, he would marry. Well, every girl from throughout the land came to the castle. Of course, it didn't fit any of them. Farm workers, princesses, ladies of high nobility, until it came down to the two stepsisters. The prince himself arrived at the house. The stepmother took the oldest stepsister to one side. Now, believe it or not, their feet were their best feature. Dainty. Well, perhaps not dainty, but well formed. If the slipper doesn't fit, cut off a slice of your heel. It won't hurt, but it might work. So the older stepsister, when the slipper did not fit, cut off the back of her heel. Came downstairs, much to the prince's amazement, but what choice did he have? Now as they were leaving on their way back to the castle, as they passed the hazel tree, the prince heard a bird call out, "Cuckoo, cuckoo, there's blood in the shoe." The foot's too wide, that's not your bride. And he looked down. The slipper was dripping with blood. Well, he turned the carriage around, went straight back. Now, the stepmother took the second stepsister aside. If it doesn't fit, cut off your big toe. It'll only hurt for a moment. This may be our only chance. Of course, the slipper would not fit. The second stepsister cut off her toe. Well, again, as the prince was taking his new bride apparent back to the castle, past the hazel tree, there's blood in the shoe. The foot's too long. That girl is wrong. Back he went. Is there another girl in this household? I am sure. 3 nights I chased a mystery girl back to this house. Is there no one else? Well, there's only my Cinderella. But it can't be her. You can't see her. It's impossible. Oh, you don't want her, sneered the stepmother. The prince insisted and would not leave until he saw Cinderella. So she was called for, but she would not see the prince until she had cleaned herself. When the prince set eyes on her, his heart began to beat a little faster. And of course, the slipper fit perfectly. So he took her back to the castle. And as he passed the hazel tree, he heard calling out, "Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo." The shoe fits right. The bride is right. Now, on the day of the wedding, the 2 stepsisters, in a hope to gain favour with the prince and their stepsister, arrived at the palace and, they did their best to toady up to the bride and groom, insisting that they escort their stepsister into the castle, one on the left, one on the right. And as they did, a dove, 2 doves, came down, settled, one on one shoulder of a stepsister, the other on another. They pecked out one of their eyes. After the ceremony, the 2 stepsisters left the castle. The doves came down again, rested on their other shoulder, pecked out their other eyes. So that for their cruelty, for their shallowness, they were blinded for the rest of their days. Wow, okay, yes, so, like I said, a very different version of Cinderella there to the Disney one that you might be used to, but a more traditional version there. I am sure that Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. I am sure that the prince found out Cinderella's real name, even if he never seemed to ask her at the ball. Hopefully Cinderella's dad got his comeuppance as well for basically allowing his only daughter to be treated that way. I'm not really sure if any of that's important to the story, but still, it seems surprising that he just let it happen. Never mind, eh? It's a very old story, Cinderella, and there are lots and lots of different versions of it. That one that I told there, I got from this book, which is, you can't really see the cover there, but it's Grimm's Tales. It's Philip Pullman's rewriting of them from the original Brothers Grimm's collections. Brothers Grimm, of course, didn't write the stories themselves. It's a common misdemeanor. They send out a country girl with an eidetic memory, I think it is. She could remember whatever she heard anyway, and she would come back and tell them the stories, and they would write them down, record them, I should say. They didn't write the stories themselves. Over the years, they might have changed them a little bit, and other people certainly have, and softened them, but yeah, Brothers Grimm, collectors rather than authors, should we say. Anyway, this is it is a really good version of the collected tales. It's very simply written. There's a lot of background about the stories in there. Books generally available pretty much anywhere. I would encourage you to use, if you do want a copy of it, I would encourage you to use a local independent bookseller. There's nothing wrong. I know with the big online stores, I've used them myself over lockdown, but a lot of smaller companies will have been struggling during the pandemic. And if you do want a copy of this book, or indeed a copy of the Brothers Grimm's Collected Tales full stop, a smaller business would be maybe a little bit more expensive, but I'm sure they'd be much more appreciative of your business if you do want the book. Of course, Grimm fairy tales in all their original versions, you can probably find them for free on the internet, pick up versions in second-hand bookshops. I think you can get it free on Kindle, which obviously works on any platform. It's a little bit not as nicely set out, a little bit more dense. I would say you might get the odd different versions here and there, but if you are interested in, you know, the more traditional tales, by all means check them out. I am babbling and rambling. I've forgotten what I was going to say next. Regardless, it is an interesting version there. I remember there's a few more rhymes in there. I'm not good at remembering rhymes. I can remember the gist of stories and tell them, but I kind of wimped out on doing more of the rhymes that are in there. I was kind of surprised that I remembered the ones that I did do. What's surprising is it's not necessarily a very happy story, is it? There's quite a bit of misery in there. I mean, there's a bit of justice at the end, but wow, it's a bit grim and gruesome, really. But I did promise I would put it on this weekend, so there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be putting another story on this week, on Thursday. I was going to start the second branch of the Mabinogi. I'm probably not going to do that. I haven't had enough time again to look at that. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Norse mythology, which is just absolutely bonkers, and put a Thor story up, which, if you've seen Marvel films, will very much surprise you. So yeah, that'll go up on Thursday, and then maybe it's going into the Mabinogi the week after. I am off work the week after, so I'll have a bit more time, and maybe just record all of it together, so I don't have to do anything in between and don't have to worry about that. But that is it for now. I am shooting off soon to a friend's house to watch the F1 race today. I hope you're all keeping well. Don't forget the pandemic is still going on. Still take care out there. Observe social distancing. If you're all together with your family, hope you're still looking after each other. You're all realising how lucky you are if you're all together. I'll be going to see my mum later on today. Of course, we're allowed to do that now, which is great. But we still have to take care, you know. I know things are opening up a bit more, but like I said earlier, this pandemic hasn't gone away. We still need to be very careful. Right. Yeah, I think that'll do from me. As I say, hope you enjoyed the story. If you have any comments, put them below. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, I'll still take them. I know I've still got to try and find that Slovakian folk dancing story, if such a thing exists. And by all means, subscribe to my channel. Share this video or any other ones on it that you find. Tell your friends. Give the video a like. All of that usual kind of thing. And yeah, I will see you later in the week. And Grendel will as well. He's done my head in this morning. I don't know what's wrong with him. Cats. Never mind. Right, okay. Enjoy what is left of your weekend. And like I said, I'll see you later in the week. Bye for now.